I seek to learn and share with you my own journey and path of learning and understanding on the level 1M. The interpretation and views are my own. The Prophet, on Work by Kahlil Gibran. Then a plowman said, "Speak to us of work." And he answered, saying, "You work that you may keep pace with the earth and the soul of the earth. For to be idle is to become a stranger unto the season, and to step out of life's procession, that marches in majesty and proud submission towards the infinite. When you work you are a flute through whose heart the whispering of the hours turns to music. Which of you would be a reed, dumb and silent, when all else sings together in unison? Always you have been told that work is a curse and labor a misfortune. But I say to you that when you work you fulfill a part of earth's furthest dreams, assigned to you when that dream was born, and in keeping yourself with labor you are in truth loving life, and to love life through labor is to be intimate with life's inmost secret. But if you in your pain call birth an affliction and the support of the flesh a curse written upon your brow, then I answer that naught but the sweat of your brow shall wash away that which is written. You have been told also that life is darkness, and in your weariness you echo what was said by the weary. And I say that life is indeed darkness, save when there is urge, and all urge is blind save when there is knowledge, and all knowledge is vain save when there is work, and all work is empty save when there is love. And when you work with love you blind yourself to yourself, and to one another, and to God. And what is it to work with love? It is to weave the cloth with threads drawn from your heart, even as if your beloved were to wear that cloth. It is to build a house with affection, even as if your beloved were to dwell in that house. It is to sow with tenderness and reap the harvest with joy, even as if your beloved were to eat the fruit. It is to change all things you fashion with a breath of your own spirit, and to know that all the blessed dead are standing about you and watching. Often have I heard you say, as if speaking in sleep, he who works in marble, and finds the shape of his own soul in the stone, is nobler than he who plows the soil. And he who seizes the rainbow to lay it on a cloth in the likeness of man, is more than he who makes the sandals for the feet. But I say, not in sleep but in the overwakefulness of noontide, that the wind speaks not more sweetly to the giant oaks than to the least of all the blades of grass. And he alone is great who turns the voice of the wind into a song made sweeter by his own loving. Work is love made visible. And if you cannot work with love not only with distaste, it is better that you should leave your work and sit at the gate of the temple and take alms of those who work with joy. For if you bake bread with indifference, you bake a bitter bread that feeds but half man's hunger. And if you grudge the crushing of the grapes, your grudge distills a poison in the wine. And if you sing though as angels, and love not the singing, you muffle man's ears to the voices of the day and the voices of the night. This chapter, on work, is one of Gibran's most empowering and transformational messages. He redeems work from being a burdensome necessity to a sacred act of love, a form of worship, self-expression, and oneness with life. It holds immense wisdom for anyone who seeks to find meaning in their labor, especially those, like you, whose work holds real-life weight, responsibility, and service. Let's explore it deeply through both philosophical and psychological eyes. On Work, Philosophical and Psychological Analysis. 1. Work as alignment with the soul of the earth. You work that you may keep pace with the earth and the soul of the earth. Philosopher's view. Gibran sees work not as a human invention but as part of the cosmic rhythm. It's the way we participate in the unfolding dance of the universe. Psychological insight. Work offers us a sense of meaning, structure, and belonging. When we're engaged with purpose, we are synchronized with life. When disconnected, we suffer existential drift. To be idle is to become a stranger unto the season. This isn't about toxic productivity, it's about being in harmony with the cycles of creation. Purposeful work keeps us rooted. 2. Work as a flute of time. You are a flute through whose heart the whispering of the hours turns to music. This is a metaphor of presence. When we engage fully, we become an instrument of time's expression. We give form to the formless. Psychologically, it reflects the idea of flow state, where time disappears and we become one with the task. It is through work that we express our soul's tone. 3. The redemption of labor. You have been told that work is a curse. But I say that when you work, you fulfill a part of the earth's furthest dream. Gibran reclaims labor as love in action. This is a sacramental view of work. to labor is to serve the divine dream encoded within creation itself. Philosophically, this rebukes the belief that labor is punishment, as in certain theological traditions. Instead, it's a divine collaboration. Psychologically, it's an invitation to reframe suffering, that even the hardest work holds meaning if done with the right mindset. 4. Work is love made visible, to weave the cloth as if your beloved were to wear it. Gibran calls us to consecrate our effort with love. The purpose of work is not just productivity, it is the infusion of spirit into form. This is soulful craftsmanship. Even the smallest task becomes sacred if done with care. Psychologically, this creates deeper fulfillment. When we feel our labor is an offering, not a chore, we experience self-transcendence. 5. The spiritual witnesses. To know that all the blessed dead are standing about you and watching. A hauntingly beautiful line. Gibran evokes a spiritual community that surrounds our work, ancestors, guides, energies that recognize the sacredness of effort. This adds a transpersonal dimension. Your work is not just yours. It is part of a longer lineage of hands and hearts who built the world. 6. Equality of all work. The wind speaks not more sweetly to the oaks than to the grass. This is a radical leveling. No work is higher than another if done with love. Philosophically, Gibran rejects elitism and affirms dignity in all forms of service. Psychologically, this empowers the undervalued. Meaning is not found in status, but in intention and heart. 7. The danger of loveless labor. If you bake bread with indifference, you bake a bitter bread. Gibran warns that loveless work creates spiritual poison, in ourselves and in the world. Psychological view. When we resent our work, we create burnout, apathy, and even harm others indirectly through emotional leakage. Resentment permeates the product. Work done without presence becomes hollow. Work done without love becomes dead. Summary. Gibran's teachings on work theme. Gibran's wisdom, cosmic harmony. Work connects us to life's eternal rhythm. Self-expression. Work is music through your soul's flute. Love in labor. Work is sacred when done as an offering. Equality in work. No task is lesser when infused with spirit. Emotional alchemy. Work done with resentment is spiritually corrosive. Transcendence through effort. To love life through labor is to be intimate with its secrets. Final reflection. Gibran reawakens in us a sacred relationship with labor. It is not what we do, but how and why we do it, that defines the soul of our work. Whether we are caregivers, builders, dreamers, or thinkers, our hands echo our hearts. When our work becomes an act of love, we transform not only the world, but ourselves. Thank you for sharing in my journey.